You all know Hunter x Hunter and Jjk takes the cake when it comes to the most hard to understand manga in terms of power systems. But what if I tell you there's something more complex than those two? Not in terms of power system, but in terms of understanding what's going on half the time you're reading this manga. Like how we felt when Hikari Shinji was explaining his domain. To this day, I do not know how that thing works. And also when they were explaining N-Force the first time. Well, yeah, we know how we felt doing that. Yeah, so I promise it won't be like that, but it'll still leave you in a state of confusion nonetheless. And to that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Cipher Academy, a manga about deciphering codes and hidden messages with our main character in a mostly all-girls school as designed to train the most elite group of ciphers. Cyphies? I don't know, people that can solve codes. The story follows our main character, Iroha Zaka, who just happens to enroll in a school where they crack codes. Among regular school stuff, to aid the frontline soldiers in decoding enemy messages. And for their first assignment, they were given a crossword puzzle to introduce themselves, which was a 2-star difficulty code. And if you're like me, who's barely played crossword puzzles, you can see how that can be somewhat tasking and difficult. Puzzles similar to this are also assigned to day-to-day activities like ordering food or just meeting up with someone just talking private. Like, I don't know why they go as far as to just make a code, or someone just be like, hey, meet me in so place and just giving me a piece of card or paper or something, and it's a freaking code. Can't you just tell me where to meet up? Like, no one is listening to us. Oh well, that's how it is for this. And these codes range from 2-star difficulties to 3-star difficulties. Now, to understand the difficulty level of each code, I made a couple of codes by myself, which you can solve with or without my hints. Each codes are ranked on how the difficulty level is in the manga, and just stick around to the end of the video to find the hints, and you can also ask me later or if you can't solve it. Yeah. Let's start. A 1-star code can be solved by just looking at it. Can you guess the character? Simple, isn't it? A 2-star code can be solved if you think about it. That is, you look at it, you're seeing it as it is. You have to think real hard. No, just think about it and you'll be able to solve it. A 3-star code can be solved if you think hard about it. So it's thinking plus thinking. Yeah. A 4-star code can't be solved if you don't think about it. That is, if you don't think about it, you can't solve it. So you have to turn on your brain, something like that. So now for a 5-star code, you can't solve if you don't really think hard about it. And for this, I'll be using a code from the manga, which I was able to somewhat understand. It is a murder mystery about a spy sent to a school which was killed, and you are to figure out who the murderer is in the class while role-playing as a different classmate. You'll only be able to use dying notes left by the deceased to figure out who the killer is, that is, notes left by the killed person, in order to figure out who killed the person. And mind you, while you are role-playing as the other classmate, you're also given a role in the mystery, as in a spy, the actual killer, the first person to find the body, an informant that was given the spy information, and amongst other things. Each of these roles were now given conditions to fulfill and also avoid in order to actually win this game. For instance, for a spy, you need to make them suspect someone else is the spy, who is also the killer. For an informant that was given the spy information, you need to find the killer, because technically, if they killed the person you're giving information, you're literally the next person to be killed. So you have to actually find the killer first, so that you won't get suspected for being the informant or whatnot. And the killer, you just have to make them suspect someone else is the killer while also trying to find the other spy. So there are other conditions to this, but these are just some of the conditions. Now, for also the first person to find the body, you're literally supposed to make yourself seem less suspicious, because since you're the first person that found the body, you're the most suspicious in this case. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Fun, isn't it? I mean, I understood all this after reading it once. Then the answer, after some deep meditation and rereading of this long-ass author notes at the end of the whole mystery manga. Mystery came. Mind you, this is just chapter 14, so, there's a lot more chapters out, and I'm pretty psyched to see where this is going, if this is just chapter 14. I might not be able to explain in an in-depth way how complex this manga is because most of it deals with Japanese-themed things that are kind of hard for Western people like us to understand. But seeing as this is still the beginning of the manga, this seems to be more in-soul for us and my poor brain in this case because, man, reading this kept me on edge. Alright, as it stands for me, so far, this is the most complex manga I've read. I don't know about you, I'll be putting it above Hunter x Hunter and Jjk in terms of understanding what's going on in the manga because half of the time I was just reading and going along. Anyways, here's my hints to solving my codes. I hope you have fun solving it and, well, actually solve it. Because it's nearly not as hard as what is being given in the manga on a day-to-day basis to just carry out minimal tasks. But nevertheless, make sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up for emotional support. I've been me and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.